And it's a very good morning to the Gelding and the Sportsfan racing viewers as an overcast Melbourne and racing returns to Caulfield today, Gelding, and a very hard day to pick a winner, I would have thought.
Good morning, Professor. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, a typical off-winter meeting, but I think there's a couple of good horses here, Professor. So, you know, they may not be extensive odds, but yeah, it could be right up there. So, look, we'll be looking for winners. There may be not much value, but maybe the parlays will help us out today, Professor.
Well, fingers crossed, Gelding. It's a 9-race program at Caulfield. The track was a soft 7 last night when I was checking late, but has been upgraded to a soft 6. Do you think it'll get to a soft 5 before the end of the meeting, or do you think it'll stay a soft 6?
Well, looking out the window here, Caulfield South, Professor, pretty much blue skies, but unfortunately not much wind. So the wind not tends to dry the track out. But yeah, look, I listening to radio this morning seemed to indicate there may be a possible chance of an upgrade to a soft 5. So let's see what happens, Professor.
All right, Gelding, what are your... I should say there's a 9-race program. The feature race seems to be race 4, Gelding, an open race over 2,000 metres, but very little to split any of the fields. What are your 2 best bets for today?
Yeah, sorry, Professor, about that cough. Look, Professor, I reckon there may be a special horse racing out there today. In race 2, number 3, Garner Natty, trained by Peter and Paul Snowden, today to be ridden by Brett Treble. Oliver was aboard it last time. It's had 1 win. It won its first start at Flemington by 4 lengths, Professor, going away. 2 horses that ran second and third have subsequently won races. So, well, Professor, this horse may be something special in the 3-year-old filly races during the spring. So I heard Paul Snowden say they were giving it a run and then maybe putting it out just for a light rest. But race 2, number 3, Gennady, owned by one of the sheikhs, Professor. The breeding's by Deep Impact, Japan's leading sire, world-class sire, from a Elna Hood, the broodmare, who was the broodmare of Pride of Dubai, which won the Blue Diamond Stakes, Professor. So this horse is impeccably bred. It won by 4 lengths over 1,100 of Flemington. It's over 1,100 today. The track, the rail's true. Previously was out 11 metres, so you've got 11 metres of new ground on the inside. So I can just see this horse. All it's got to do was what it did last time, Professor, and it wins quite comfortably. I know it's a bit short. I was lucky enough to get $2 on Friday morning, but you know, it's into about $1. You know, if we get $1.75, $1.80, maybe a good way to start off the parlays, Professor.
I checked this morning, Gelding. Last night when I was going through the form, Gennady was at $1.80, so it had already come in from where you got it. It's into $1.50 this morning.
Yeah, look, yeah, that may be a bit of an overreaction. Look, there's some good horses in there, a lot of horses from good trainers having their first start. And if these good trainers are bringing him to the city for their first start, they must rate them, Professor. So, you know, may not have it all its own way, but let's say it was ultra impressive first start. My second tip, Professor, we then go on to race 5. I like number 1, Chief Old Tony, trained by Alexander Ray down at Cranbourne, to be ridden by Tommy Stockdale, claiming 2, so the 60 comes down to 60. This horse, I was hoping for a bit wetter track, Professor. It certainly likes a heavy track with its it's had 4 starts on a heavy for 2 wins and 2 seconds. But in the soft range, it's had 5 starts, Professor, for 1 win and 4 seconds. So, can still handle the soft ground. It's been in fine form. Last 2 starts, a win and a second at Sandown. Just going down to reasonable horses, not by much, a nose or so. So around about the $3, Professor, I thought Chief Beltony in race 5 could be the second leg of a nice little parlay. And your tips, Professor?
Yeah, Gelding. I like race 6, the Lamaro Hotel Handicap, a 3-year-old race, or a race for 3-year-olds over 1,000 metres. So it's the sprint course. Horse 7, Inundation, trained by one of our former trainers, Gelding, Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. Been very, very good over its last 2 wins. It's a 1,000-metre specialist. It's got speed. It's up in class, but the field will need to chase it as it likes to lead. The threat, Gelding, in this race, I think Squid Game. I've watched it in some film over 1,100 metres. It does like to give a start. I think if it gives Inundation too much of a start in a race like this, then it's going to be chasing its heels all day. So race 6, horse 7, Inundation. And my second tip, race 8, the Stephen Howell Memorial Trophy, another race for 3-year-olds over 1,400 metres. I like in that race, Gelding, horse 3, Aaron Bay, coming out of barrier 12, had 8 starts for 2 wins and 4 placings, so a 25% win rate, a 75% place rate. It's run against Cardinal Gem and Jimmy the Bear in its last 2 starts at Flemington for a 4th and beaten in a photo by Jimmy the Bear. Now, Jimmy the Bear's scratched today, so it removes one of the issues for it. Cardinal Gem, a bit like Squid Game, Gelding, it does like getting back in its races, and if the racing's on pace or for leaders today, then Aaron Bay, that'll suit its style of racing.
And you do like the trainer, Professor?
Yeah, Phil Stokes from down our way at the Pakenham Race Course at Tynong, Gelding. And ridden by a jockey who's ridden your horse, Gelding. Drop the mic. Alana Kelly claiming 2 today.
Yes, Alana Kelly in fine form, Professor, at the moment. A lot of trainers are taking advantage of her ability to claim. The 2 kilos, of course, brings this horse into 52 kilos, Professor. So, and she's riding in fine form. So I do like your tip in this one, Professor. In fact, I do like both of your tips. So very confident today.
Yeah, well, I was showing 550 last night, Gelding. So for each way betters, I got 625 last night and $1.95. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, a bet for we'll certainly run a place, Professor, and you got it running for nothing, basically.
Almost.
Almost.
All right, Gelding. Now let's turn to the Professor's Parlay, and we can say the very successful Professor's Parlay.
Oh,
we're back in town, Gelding.
It's good to see you back in form, Professor.
Yeah, never in doubt, Gelding. And we got the nice return of $12.50, which is not to be sneezed at. And after you look at what GM Racing got with 2 wins and a placing last week, when you add the Professor's Parlay, that was just a nice little bit of icing on the cake.
That bank is building, Professor.
Now, one of our regular viewers, Gelding, I was talking to him and I said, we got 5-2 for the Professor's Parlay. And he looked at me and said, what does that mean?
Well, it means 25-10.
Yeah. Gelding, have you ever... I don't know anybody who backs horses who needs to ask somebody else what 5-2 is.
Someone that's been to the racetrack. The one thing about racing, Professor, you're 4 times stable. So, and the 10 times stable. So all the odds, 5 into 2, Professor, is that 2.5 to 1?
It is, Gelding.
Or is that 25-10?
Or yes, or for every $2 you put on, you get 5 back.
Exactly, Professor.
Anyway, after I explained it to
any, you're going to throw some ideas of one of our listeners so I might be able to guess who it was.
No, I won't embarrass one of our viewers, Gelding. But I must admit, I was a bit taken aback. Like I had to do a double take to, given that the person bets on horses. I thought, well, geez, okay. Well, here's a little bit of information for you.
Was it the fishbowl kind of response, Professor? The mouth just went up and down, and nothing came out.
Once I explained it, it seemed very obvious, Gelding.
Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. I hope it's not anyone in the same profession as you, Professor.
Could be.
Oh no,
you've just narrowed the field, Gelding.
Yeah, that's frightening.
All right. So after last week's success, Gelding, the agreed bet of the day, we can't go past your selection of race 2, horse 3, Ganati. I agree with what you say. That's probably that really is the bet of the day, and punters should get onto that one as quick as they can. Otherwise, they might not even get the $1.50. And I don't like the NRL because it's State of Origin weekend and there are no games. And I don't want to bet on
NRL.
I don't want to bet on State of Origin, Gelding. And I don't like the matchups in the AFL. So I've gone to
50-50 games.
There are, Gelding. So I've gone to Major League Baseball.
Gee, we're going wide today, Professor.
We are, Gelding. So the first one, I like the Toronto Blue Jays to beat the Milwaukee Brewers. The Blue Jays are having a fairly good season. They're 5th in home runs over the whole league, so that's very good. They're 6th in on-base percentage, which is very important in a baseball game. Compare that to the Brewers, who are 20th in on-base percentage. So I think Blue Jays will have plenty of base runners. And the other one I like is the St. Louis Cardinals to beat Dan Butley's Chicago Cubs.
I like them, Professor. Good. A nice, interesting side bet for this. Yeah.
Yeah, Gelding. And,
for the successful Professor's parlay.
And for our viewers, Gelding, the parlay this week showing a very easy to work out 4-1.
4-1. Oh, Professor, would that be 8-2?
I think it would be, Gelding. I think it would be 8-2.
Or 40-10?
Oh, Gelding, leave it alone.
You got to love it, don't you? 32-8, Professor?
Sorry?
32-8?
Yeah, it could be. 24-6?
Yeah. Oh, we've got them all coming. Eh?
All right, Gelding. Well, you can't make it to Sportsfan Radio tomorrow, but Cooter's going to be on with his preview of Wimbledon, which I'll be looking forward to. That kicks off tomorrow. So for all the tennis fans, I think Cooter will be talking about what he's having a bit of a wager on and who he likes in the men's and women's singles and also the doubles. And the judge wants to have a chat about a couple of things. He's got a couple of bees in his bonnet too, Gelding. So.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of the texts, Professor.
Yeah, so he's all fired up. So it'll be a terrific show tomorrow at midday on the Sportsfan Radio YouTube channel. So until next Saturday, Gelding, when we do That's Racing again, it's good luck.